Canada is introducing tighter regulations for international students, including restrictions on study permits and work opportunities, as part of its efforts to address systemic issues like fraudulent applications, labor market imbalances, and pressures on housing and social infrastructure. Here's a detailed breakdown. What are the new restrictions? Stricter study permit requirements. Enhanced vetting process. Applicants may face stricter scrutiny to ensure they are genuine students. Greater emphasis on financial proof to confirm the ability to cover tuition and living expenses. Approved institutions-only permits will only be granted for designated learning institutions, or DLIs, meeting stricter oversight standards. Private colleges with questionable recruitment practices may lose their DLI status. Reduced work opportunities for students. Limits on off-campus work hours. Canada had temporarily allowed students to work unlimited hours off-campus, but this is likely to revert to a cap of 20 hours per week during academic sessions. Stricter post-graduation work permit, or PGWP, eligibility. Work permits may only be available to graduates from high-quality programs or institutions. Short-duration and low-quality programs might be excluded from PGWP pathways. Clamping down on fraudulent applications. Greater scrutiny of third-party agents and education consultants to prevent fraud. IRCC plans to use advanced tools to detect falsified admission letters, financial documents, and identity proof. Why is Canada tightening rules? Reports of fraudulent applications and misuse of student permits for non-academic purposes have risen. This has become a significant concern for Canadian authorities, who are now taking steps to address these issues. The integrity of the immigration system is at stake, and the government is determined to ensure that only genuine students benefit from the opportunities provided by Canadian educational institutions. Some students enter Canada under the guise of studying but engage primarily in work, straining resources and violating visa terms. This not only undermines the purpose of student visas but also creates unfair competition in the job market. The government is now implementing stricter measures to verify the intentions of applicants and ensure compliance with visa regulations. Unregulated work by international students can lead to competition for entry-level jobs, impacting Canadian workers. This has raised concerns among local communities and labor organizations, who argue that the influx of unauthorized workers is driving down wages and making it harder for Canadians to find employment. By tightening the rules, the government aims to protect the local workforce and maintain fair labor practices. Rapid growth in international student numbers has exacerbated housing shortages and put pressure on public services, especially in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. The demand for affordable housing has skyrocketed, leading to increased rents and making it difficult for both students and local residents to find suitable accommodation. Public services such as healthcare and transportation are also feeling the strain, prompting the government to take action. Ensuring international students enroll in legitimate programs and institutions maintains Canada's global reputation for high-quality education. By cracking down on fraudulent applications and ensuring that students are genuinely committed to their studies, Canada can continue to attract top talent from around the world. This not only benefits the students but also enriches the Canadian educational landscape, fostering a diverse and vibrant academic community. Implications for international students. First, there are higher entry barriers. Prospective students must demonstrate stronger financial stability and intent to study, which means they need to show proof of sufficient funds to cover tuition fees, living expenses, and other costs. This can be a significant hurdle for many, especially those from countries with weaker currencies or economic instability. This financial requirement makes it harder for those with limited resources to qualify. Many students might have the academic qualifications, but lack the financial backing, which can be disheartening and limit their opportunities for higher education abroad. Secondly, there's limited work flexibility. International students often rely on part-time jobs to support themselves while studying. However, restrictions on the number of hours they can work can make it challenging to balance their finances. Capping work hours will impact students relying on jobs to fund their education and living expenses. This limitation can lead to increased stress and fatigue as students juggle their academic responsibilities with their financial needs. Third, there's more focus on high-quality institutions. Governments and immigration authorities are increasingly prioritizing students who enroll in reputable universities or colleges. This means that students may need to aim for admission to these institutions to enhance their chances of obtaining a visa and future work opportunities. Students may need to prioritize enrolling in programs from reputable universities or colleges to access work opportunities post-graduation. This focus on high-quality institutions can be beneficial in the long run, but may also limit options for students who cannot gain admission to these top-tier schools. Access to work opportunities post-graduation is crucial for many international students. They often seek to gain work experience in the host country to enhance their career prospects. However, this is increasingly tied to the reputation of the institution they graduate from. Finally, there's the risk of rejection. Enhanced scrutiny of applications means that even minor errors or inconsistencies can lead to rejection. This can be particularly stressful for students who have invested time, effort, and money into the application process. Enhanced scrutiny may lead to higher rejection rates, causing anxiety and uncertainty among prospective students. The fear of rejection can deter many from even applying, especially those from regions with high incidences of fraud. Particularly for applicants from regions with high incidences of fraud, the process can be even more daunting. These students face additional hurdles and may need to provide extra documentation to prove their legitimacy, adding to the complexity and stress of the application process. Criticism of the policy changes. Firstly, there's the disproportionate impact on low-income students. These students already face numerous challenges, from affording tuition fees to managing living expenses. The new policy changes could make it even harder for them to access education, potentially widening the gap between different socioeconomic groups. Many low-income students rely on scholarships and part-time jobs to support their education, and any changes that make it harder for them to study could have long-lasting effects on their futures. Stricter financial requirements could disproportionately exclude students from developing countries, reducing Canada's diversity. International students bring a wealth of perspectives and experiences that enrich the educational environment. By making it more difficult for these students to come to Canada, the policy changes could lead to a less diverse and less vibrant academic community. Additionally, the economic contributions of international students, who often spend money on housing, food, and other necessities, could be significantly reduced. Limiting work opportunities for international students could exacerbate labor shortages in industries like retail and hospitality, which rely heavily on student workers. These sectors are already facing challenges in finding enough staff, and reducing the pool of available workers could make the situation even worse. International students often fill part-time positions that are crucial for the day-to-day operations of these businesses. Without them, many establishments might struggle to stay open or provide the same level of service. Lastly, there's the strain on genuine applicants. The increased bureaucracy and additional requirements may delay processing times for legitimate students and add to application hurdles. This could discourage talented individuals from applying, as the process becomes more cumbersome and time-consuming. Genuine students who are eager to contribute to the academic and cultural fabric of Canada might be deterred by the added complexities, leading to a potential loss of bright minds and future leaders. Increased bureaucracy may delay processing times for legitimate students and add to application hurdles. This not only affects the students but also the institutions that rely on their enrollment. Universities and colleges could see a decline in international applications, impacting their financial stability and the diversity of their student body. The overall experience for all students could be diminished as a result. Recommendations for prospective students. Choose reputable institutions. Verify that the institution is a recognized DLI with strong post-graduation pathways. Ensure financial readiness. Prepare detailed financial documentation to meet stricter proof of funds requirements. Avoid unethical consultants. Work only with authorized and reputable immigration consultants. Comply with visa conditions. Adhere to work hour limits and academic requirements to maintain status in Canada. Conclusion. The tighter regulations are aimed at preserving the integrity of Canada's immigration and education systems while addressing societal challenges. However, they will require international students to navigate a more complex and competitive landscape. Staying informed and compliant will be key to success under the new framework.